Hello, I am Kym Zest, and this here is Pigeon, and Will is behind the computer running the show. Welcome to Pajama Yin Yoga. I see there are 4 of you tuned in right now. Thank you. For those of you who are very timely, I'll share that my feet are feeling particularly tired from the snow and uneven ice and all the stuff that's on all the sidewalks. And I'm so thankful for everyone who shovels, and my feet and ankles get extra workout when people don't shovel. So my feet are extra sore. And with that, I also, just before this, we filmed some of the bonus videos for our Patreon members for feet. So if you joined early and are foam rolling, feel free to continue to do so throughout this intro. You might also use this time to finish setting up. I will not be playing any music on my end of the camera, but you are welcome to on yours. I strongly suggest having lots of props available to you. Soft, flexible props such as yoga mats. I'm a fan of folded blankets. Towels also work. Soft, thicker props. I've got these pillows. Soft, thicker, thick, stiffer props. These yoga blocks, foam roller, books, Tupperware also work. And then tonight I'm also using some bands, belts, straps, strings, whatever you have around. And then you just never know what other things you have that are readily accessible to you. Chairs, footstools, walls are all great extra props. I really like doing this on YouTube Live. I like being able to make this free and accessible to a lot of people. Anyone who needs it and wants to give it a try. I also really enjoy that I can't interrupt you, that I'm just freely giving this to you to take from this however you want, that you can, as I've heard, you can just fall asleep to this. You can make any modifications and substitutions and use this time however best serves you without having to worry if I am going to judge you or see you, or that you can't watch and compare and see what other people are doing. I love that about this format. But being able to continue doing this requires active support from people who value this, and we'll talk about that at the end. We will begin with a short movement flow followed by a seated meditation. Tonight we will do 3 yin poses before final relaxation. You are always welcome to substitute a movement, a posture, an exercise that works better for you. And there's always transition time between each yin posture for movement or stillness of your choice. During this time, there is no right position or correct alignment of traditional poses because there's no force applied, there is no progression goal, there is nothing right. It doesn't matter. Take it all out. There's a reason I don't name the poses, because I don't want you to get stuck thinking it needs to look a certain way or be a certain thing. For each yin posture, I'll demonstrate several different setups, beginning with something really simple with very minimal props and then adding propping and variations. I'll suggest for you to feel lines of fascial tension, that connective tissue in your body. While I'm demonstrating, that's your time to experiment. Really, even if you've done it many times before, play around, try different things, move in different ways. Once I am done with my demonstration, I'll return to a seated position to watch the time for 2 to 3 minutes. The posture you decide to stay in for that time should feel safe to let go of all muscular holding and tension so that you can feel quiet, subtle sensations. This is a practice of patience, stillness, and subtlety. Let's begin. Pigeon, we're going to have to move. We're going to begin on hands and knees. And with maybe a little bit of cat moving. There we go. So in hands and knees, just with a nice neutral core, so just to engage your abs just enough so that your spine feels supported. And we're going to begin with some neck circles. So I'm going to look over my right shoulder And then I'm going to circle both my eyeballs and my head looking up. Reaching up as far as is comfortable. Looking over my left shoulder. And then I'm going to trace my chin along my collarbone. So I'm not just dropping my head, chin along collarbone. Until I'm up over my right shoulder again. We're going to do that one more time. Nice big circle. Take your time. And then we're going to go the other direction. I'm going to retrace the collarbone, moving towards my left shoulder. Reaching up with my eyeballs and my head over the right shoulder. Tracing the collarbone. And one more circle. And then wiggling it out, we're going to do some shoulder circles. So starting with shoulders in neutral, I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blades together and then bring my shoulders towards my ears. Shoulders down towards the ground, so my chest contracts, press into the ground. Shoulders towards my hips, and then shoulders up towards the ceiling. One more time in that direction. So I got my shoulders squeezed together towards the ceiling. I bring my shoulders towards neutral and then up towards my ears. Press down, slide back towards my hips, and then squeeze. And then we're going to reverse direction. With my shoulders squeezed together, I'm going to press down, shoulders towards ears, squeeze shoulder blades together. One more circle. Whew. Not a lot of repetitions, but nice slow movement, pretty intense. So now fingers spread apart and facing forward. I'm going to do circles with my wrists. So I'm going to start by just releasing the pressure and sitting my hips back towards my heels, releasing the pressure on my wrists. And then I'm going to move over to the side, keeping my hands on the ground, shoulders are moving off to one side, and then as far forward as is comfortable as I make a circle over towards the other side, and then sit back towards my heels. One more time in this direction, off to the side, forward, big forearm and wrist stretch, and back. And then I'm going to go the other way. And this side motion is important too. Press into the ground with your palms within your fingers before the shoulders lean forward. Big stretch to the forearms. Sitting back one more time in this direction. Hi, pigeon. There we go. So we did some nice circles for the neck, for the shoulders, for the wrists. We're going to get into the feet a little bit. I know I need it. Pigeon, you kind of are exactly where I need to be. Can we re-angle you a little bit? How about right here? Okay, that works. Okay, so now I'm sitting with my legs out in front of me. You can lean back if you need to, if your hips or hamstrings need you to lean back, or prop your hips up on something so that your hamstring flexibility or hip flexibility isn't a limiting factor, so you can focus on the feet and ankles. So with my legs extended out in front of me, I'm going to start by pointing fully. So ankles are pointing, toes are pointing, and then I'm going to leave the ankles in this position and flex the toes up towards the ceiling, and then squeeze the toes towards the ground. And yours might look pretty different, but we're trying to keep the ankles in that pointed position and moving the toes, spreading and extending the toes up, and then squeezing the toes together and down towards the ground. Do a couple more of those. Try to watch all your toes, see if they're spreading equally, and then squeezing together. I'm going to do one more. And then you might want to wiggle that out. And then we're going to flex the ankles and the toes towards my nose or towards your knees, however you want to think of it. So I'm also engaging my quads here, and that's just fine, but really pulling that up and then keeping the ankles in this position. We're going to squeeze the toes together and spread. So holding the ankles in their flexed upwards position, moving the toes, squeezing and spreading. We're making fists with your toes, but not on the carpet. Okay, shake that out. And now we're going to get ready for our meditation. So you can sit however you want. Oh, there goes Pigeon. So if you have a chair available to you, nothing wrong with sitting in your chair, feet on the ground, nice tall spine. If you're sitting on the ground, you can sit with your legs extended, with your legs crossed, with your legs folded underneath you. If you're on the ground, I really suggest sitting up on something, propping your hips up, even just a little bit or a lot, gives you a much more easy sitting position for your hips, for your knees, making sure that you're padding underneath your body however you need to. If you're in this position, padding your shins up so that your toes aren't as pointed of a position can make things more comfortable. So make whatever adjustments you need. As you settle in, you can have palms down, up, or clasped in your lap. Eyes closed or a soft, steady gaze on the floor in front of you. As you settle into stillness, allowing yourself to set aside all the other things in your life, in your day, all the to-do lists, all the other things taking up space in your mind. Imagine folding them up, tucking them away. They will be there when you are ready to pick them back up. The only thing you need to do now is breathe. Now imagine a small ball of white light in the middle of your brain. On an exhale, the light splits in two, and exhale out the nose, two beams of white light. On an inhale, two beams of white light through the nostrils, converging at your midbrain. Exhaling, two beams of equal light out your nostrils. Inhale, two beams of light converging at the midbrain. Continuing with this visualization of your breath in your own time, at your own pace. Your mind will wander. You may notice things in your body, in your mind, in your environment. It is normal and totally okay to notice these things and then come back to your breath. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. Nod your chin towards your chest. And then open your eyes and reawaken, wiggling fingers, rolling wrists, perhaps rolling the shoulders. Introduce any movement that feels right for you. And then for this first yin posture, I don't normally have sort of straps or bands, but I grabbed them today. I always say that you might use them, but I'm going to actually demonstrate with them today. I happen to have just most readily available to me, these are exercise stretch bands, but they do not have to be stretchy. So if a belt or some other strap is more available to you, go for it. So, without any props to start with, most basic, lying on my side, I'm going to take my top arm to grab my bottom leg. And just to make this reach, if you need a strap, go ahead, but I'm just starting my demonstration without any props. Grabbing that from behind, I might choose to roll towards my front or to roll towards my back. I might choose to roll towards my back and let my hips come with me so that my both hips end up being mostly on the floor, in which case this is not much of a torso twist, but more intense on the legs and hips, as opposed to rolling towards my back, but keeping my top leg as close to the ground as possible. And now there's a deep torso twist. I might choose how I hold on to my leg, which changes the sort of rotation of the shoulder. The top leg, I might choose to have really hugged in, and I might hold it in. Or I might choose to have it more extended and open. Lots of options. And then, of course, you can play with where you put your head, all of that. So one option I'm just going to share is using some straps. I'm just going to wrap this around my ankle nice and securely. I'm going to take this other foot, give it a little wrap. And in both cases, I'm going to sort of wrap around my wrist, making it easier to hold on to. But here I can hold on to a straight-ish top leg and a bent leg, and just changing the angles on either of these with the straps, making it easier to hold my foot or leg in whichever position I'd like. Holding your feet takes a little muscular engagement, but you want to find a way to hold your feet in such a way that doesn't require a lot of effort. And then remembering it's a practice of efficiency, using only the muscles absolutely necessary and no more. How much can you be relaxed? How soft? Using only what's absolutely necessary and letting everything else be relaxed. Excellent practice for everyone, and especially for some athletes. So hopefully you've found your spot. And feeling long lines, multiple areas of connection in your body, of gentle stress and stretch. Letting your breath be the only movement needed. Everything else allowing for passive change, just watching. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. And use these breaths to help you gently, piece by piece, coming out of this position, releasing your legs. You might choose to roll to your belly or to your back, whichever feels right. You might choose to simply lie in a neutral position, or you might choose more active counter movement. And then, when you're ready, setting up the other side. And we're going to face away just to give you a different view. So, lying on your side, top arm grabs bottom leg, and I can roll towards my back almost all the way. And notice on my back, I can let that other leg just hang straight, or I can leave it right in the bent position, or anything else you might make up. I might roll towards my front. I might want a big torso twist. I can hug that other leg really close or extend it out. And using those straps on one or both of the feet can be a really great way to give you some other options. And you do not have to do what you did on the first side. Try something different, just to try something different, or maybe as you're setting up, this side just needs something different. Hopefully you've found time to make your adjustments. And now it is time you are going to settle into stillness while I move Pigeon off the microphone. The urge to fidget is normal. Ask yourself, without agenda or judgment, if the sensation is a warning sign, a danger signal that moving is necessary. But most of the time, the signal is simply unfamiliar sensation, minor irritant. Come back to your breath. Allow it to pass. Practice stillness. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. Use these breaths to help you gently come out. Releasing. And again, finding whatever transition you'd like. Active counter movement, or simply lying in a neutral place and observing the effects of the posture. Taking whatever transition feels right. Not every movement needs to be pre-programmed, pre-scripted. So, I'm going to start by lying on my belly. I'm going to lie all the way down, nice and relaxed. And I'm going to have padding underneath my pelvis and my chest. And then I'm going to, got my extra blankets here. I'm going to take my right leg in this case, and I'm going to bring it out to the side. So now I have padding underneath my knee and ankle. And I might start at just a very loose angle, and you might find a stretch in the groin and then out towards the knee, inner thigh. You might slide that leg up. You might change the angle of your knee. And when you've found a good spot for you, for that knee and position and hip, come up gently onto your forearms. You might have your forearms further out for a lower position, or higher or closer in, brings your torso further up. If you need to go higher with your torso, you could place a block underneath your forearms, lifting up. So lifting the torso, and you don't have to do this at all. If lying flat on the ground felt really good, stay there. But lifting up brings the line of stretch into the abdomen, into the ribs. And then wherever you choose to stay, support the forehead so that you're not having to hold up your head. So playing with your positions with your forearms, with supporting your head, with the angle of your knee, your hip. And then feeling the effect of each breath on the sensations of this position. Gently lengthening and deepening your breath. You might use these breaths to really notice where you have landed, how things have changed, savoring this posture. You might be in a hurry to start transitioning out, gently lifting the head, gently bringing the leg back in line with the other. You might perhaps just lie with your legs together, or you might choose any other movement or posture. And when you're ready, setting up your other side. So lying down on the ground, placing your other leg out to the side, finding the level and angle. Perhaps choosing to stay here, or propping the chest up slightly, finding where you want that to be. Wherever you choose, propping the forearms in whichever way you'd like, propping the forehead. Allowing this to be a completely passive posture. If there is pinching or points of tension as opposed to long, gentle lines, you have gone too far or have set up something that isn't a good position for you. There is no one watching, so do something different. Back off, readjust, reprop, start over, and find the place that feels good, that feels satisfying. Staying in passive stillness, watching sensations change without any effort on your part. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. Gently coming out. When you're ready, taking any transition that feels right for you. And just because I never stand up, because my head would go off the screen, doesn't mean you can't. So standing transitions are also perfectly acceptable. So, for our last yin posture, we're going to do, I'm going to be over here. We're looking to feel lines of fascial stretch in the sole of the foot, the back of the ankle, possibly the tops of the knees, through the glutes, along the spine, big chain all the way back the neck, into the forehead, lots of options. Without any extra props, might look something like this. It's a very deep passive squat, just hanging out in my bones. You could have feet wide and toes apart, arms in the middle, or feet narrow, arms out to the side. In either case, many times we need some propping options. One of them is oftentimes the heels are floating off the ground and that feels unsteady and like too much pressure. And so having blankets propping up underneath the heels can give you more stability and just make you feel safer. If you feel like the gravity of the pressure is too intense, then muscles will grip and hold on to keep you from going too far. So make sure that you give yourself enough support so that that is not the case. So I might hang out here. I might find props for my forehead. I might need to prop up my hips, so sitting up on one or multiple blocks, or even adding more support. And I might use my bookshelf. I can use my bookshelf to lean back into it. Or I can use my shelf to go forward into my bookshelf. And you might combine different propping options. So lots of choices here, lots of different ways to combine those options. Finding your combination. You can feel multiple long lines of connective tissue, that you feel supported and safe enough, that your muscles can relax, release. Muscles in your thighs, in your hips, in your pelvic bowl, in your torso, your abs, your back, but also places like your jaw, your fingers, your toes. with each breath, sinking in, releasing a little bit more. Lengthening and deepening your breath. You might use this breath to really savor where you've landed, to sink in a little bit more, or you might use these breaths to come out. You might come to standing. You might do a little twisting. Might move the knees, wiggling it out, taking any transition that feels right for you. And we'll be transitioning to our relaxation. So if you need more active movement before you're ready to lie down for the night, possibly, or you might be really excited to do our relaxation, you can get there sooner. Pigeon has been there for most of this. Pigeon is an excellent example of Yin Yoga. So you might prop underneath the knees. You might have more props than me. You might prop underneath the neck. You might wrap up in a blanket, put something over the eyes. As you settle in, letting your body be completely supported, completely at ease. Let your mind find ease in following your breath. Watching your breath flow in and out gently, as if it were a wave. lengthening and deepening your breath ever so gently. Letting your breath be your first active movement. And reintroducing movement. Spreading fingers and toes, squeezing fingers and toes in, rolling wrists and ankles. Stretching out long and big. And then bringing your palms together and rubbing them together. Placing your warmed palms over your eyes. And then letting your fingers massage your scalp, your temples, your brow. Your sinuses. Your jaw. Your ears, behind your ears, back of your neck. And then finally hugging at your knees in towards your chest, rolling towards your side. Using your arms to help you sit up gently. We'll conclude with 3 breaths together. We'll inhale through the nose and exhale audibly out the mouth. Together. In through the nose. One more. Thank you to the 7 of you that are here, that have joined me this evening. YouTube just gives us a number, so it's always really nice to get anyone to say hello in the chat. Feel free just to let me know you're there. We can only continue doing this with support from people who want this to keep going. So there are 3 options, 3 ways that you can let us know that this is valuable to you. One is simply communicating. You can shoot me an email, kym@zested.net. I will share that a wonderful viewer let me know that using a blindfold, a little eye cloth over their eyes during the yin practice, just even like a headband-like thing, can help close the eyes once you're settled into your yin posture, and that helped them really stay focused inwards and not get distracted with other things. So those are wonderful things. It's wonderful to share that with me, and then I am able to share that with all of you. So email, you can also follow us on social media. We have Facebook and Instagram, and you can go to our website to join our mailing list. Another second option for supporting us is just a single time donation. That's paypal.me/zested. Even just $5 lets us know that you value this. And then lastly, you could become a sustaining member on Patreon. For $10 a month, you get bonus videos, and then you just help keep this going for yourself and for everyone else. So those are 3 options. We just filmed right before this 2 bonus videos for our Patreon videos, so those members can keep an eye out for those coming in the next couple weeks. Thank you so much, and Pigeon enjoys your support as well. Have a peaceful night.